Hello, my name is Betul Bilgin, and I'm Clinical Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department. I teach 2 semester senior design courses and designed both courses with the focus of team-based learning. Team-based learning, or TBL, is an evidence-based collaborative learning teaching strategy. Since its development in 1970s, many research has been done on TBL, many papers have been published, and it has proved to be an effective way of teaching. In my classes, all the homework, projects, in-class assignments, and presentations are based on team. Groups are randomly selected, and group members change from assignment to assignment. With this structure, my goal is each student in the class work with every student in the class. I have been using this structure for 3 years and found it very effective. However, workload for me was a lot, especially communicating with students. I have been using many different tools to communicate with students. For example, all the students' files were collected in Dropbox. When they submit, I need to download, add comments, grade with the rubric, and send the group members back. This was time-consuming. Moreover, I didn't have a chance to follow group dynamics, like individual contributions. I was getting peer evaluations from students, but it wasn't working effectively. TBL is a great way of teaching, and I believe it's a very effective way of learning. But maintaining all the work was challenging for me. In 2017, I was awarded the opportunity to work with UIC's Center for Advancement of Teaching Learning Communities, TLC, to further develop team-based learning in my course. My goal was to centralize all the group work on UIC's learning management system, Blackboard, and find effective ways of evaluating individual contributions. First, I would like to start with how to create groups. In my class this year, there were 18 groups. Each group had 4 members. To create group settings, you go to the control panel, click Users and Groups, and click on Groups. After group page is on the screen, click on Create, and there are 2 options, Single Group and Group Set. Since I had many groups in my class, I created with group sets. You choose Random Enroll, Self, or Manual Enroll. I used Manual Enroll. After clicking on Manual Enroll, you choose the name of the groups, tools that are available for students, and number of groups, and you submit. After all the groups are created, you can manually assign students to each group by clicking on Add Users. After groups are created and members are assigned, you will see the all group names under group links. Each group has their own group page and group tools. Group tools include collaboration, file exchange, group blog, discussion board, journal, tasks, wiki, and send email. What I learned from my students was that among these tools, some were more useful and some were not. I didn't want to micromanage and wanted to give students freedom about what tools they want to use. For my class, the Blackboard tools we found most effective for communication were file exchange, group log, and group tasks. Unfortunately, the collaboration tool didn't work for my class. Many groups prefer to communicate through other tools such as through personal email and apps such as WhatsApp. Thus, the Blackboard discussion board became extra work. That's why I didn't force students to use it if their work was communicating in other ways. The wiki tool was useful, however, many students prefer using Google Docs. Asking students to copy and paste from Google Docs or Word to the wiki was tedious. Plus, all the images were not copying and changing the style and size of the graphs. That's why I didn't require them to use Wiki. Instead, if I need to track individual contributions, I asked them to share Google Doc with me. I didn't need to track for most of the groups. Finally, in Blackboard, send email tool didn't work because it lost the attachments. The most useful Blackboard group tools for me and students were the file exchange, group block, and tasks tools. With file exchange, everyone posted any resource on file exchange and it was all centralized. Any article, book, journal were all in the file exchange folder. Because sometimes students used information from popular websites such as Wikipedia, I wanted them to avoid this and instead use scholarly resources. This feature allowed me to access all the resources they used so I could address this issue. My students need to meet with their mentor every week. Before the meeting, they need to submit meeting agenda, and after the meeting, they need to submit meeting minutes. To collect all these meeting agendas and meeting minutes, we use group blog. Either blog or journal will work. Every week, they posted their agendas by creating blog entry and by this I could able to review and write comment on them. The other useful tool was group tasks. When projects are assigned, group members divide the work. I wanted to follow those tasks and be informed about which section was prepared by who. Tasks feature was really useful communicating assigned tasks with me and students. Another effective Blackboard feature is group assignments. In previous years, I was downloading, adding comments on the document, sending them back, and entering grades to Blackboard. This was really time-consuming. With centralizing everything in Blackboard, assignments and grading became much easier. First, you need to create group assignments. For that, go to the course content, click on Assessment, then Assignment Tool. You enter the name of the assignment and points possible. Important part of creating group assignment is you need to click on submission details and choose group submission. When you click group submissions, you will see all the groups that you created, and from that menu, you can choose which groups that you want to get this assignment. You can also choose how many number of attempts students can be allowed, either single, multiple, or unlimited attempts, and whether or not you want to check plagiarism with Safe Assign. For this class, I assigned a single attempt and I checked with Safe Assign. However, I found the Safe Assign tool not to be very effective. It compares mainly between other students' submissions to check for plagiarism among other student papers, but not from internet resources like Wikipedia or Google. There are other features you might want to include, like anonymous grading. If you click on grading options and select enable anonymous grading, you will not see student names during grading. Also, you can choose how you would like to display the grades. You can choose showing statistics to students. In team-based learning environments, students may wonder about the average score of the assignment. And if you click on choosing statistics, that will automatically get the average and that will show it to the students. After you choose available dates to students, and you can click on submit and group assignment is created. All the groups can see the assignment under their group page. But before clicking on submit button, I would like to tell one more very useful tool which saved me a lot of time, adding rubrics to assignments. I always use rubrics, but it was very hard for me to submit the rubrics to the groups. Here in the Blackboard, if you add rubric to assignments, all the group members will be able to access it. When you are creating the assignments, right below the Points Possible tab, there is Add Rubric button. If you click on it, you will see different choices like Create New, Create from Existing, or Select Rubric. If this will be your first rubric, you choose Create New. When you click on Create New Rubric, New tab will open. And in that tab, you can add criteria, level of achievements, percentage, and scoring. You name this rubric and submit. After submission, you will see the rubric link under the assignment. The tricky part here is that by default, rubric is not visible to students. Unless you give permission, students will not be able to see the rubric. To give permission, you click on Show Rubric to Students button and choose Yes. You can choose after grading, with scores, or without scores. I use Yes with grading option. With this great addition of rubric, your assignment is graded and you can submit. After you have created the group assignment and students have submitted their work, you can grade the artifact as a group document. Under Grade Center, click on Needs Grading tab, and it will show all the assignments that were submitted as a group work. After you open up the document, you will click on Add Comment tab, and under the Comment tab, you can choose either Point, Area, or Text Comment. And these comments will be accessible by students. Also, you can draw on the document, highlight the document, or add text. I usually add my comments, highlight the text that needs to be edited or deleted. On the right side of the page, if you click on the arrow icon, this will show the grading panel. After you click on this icon, a blue box will appear. In this blue box, you will see the rubric link as well as a blank textbook for further comments. To enter the scores for each rubric criteria item, click on the rubric link. After you enter scores to each item, it will automatically calculate the final grade and assign it to all group members. This score automatically goes into the Grade Center. This feature has saved me a lot of time. I didn't need to go through download, edit, comment, send back, and add grades into Blackboard root. Instead, everything was centralized in one page. Before finalizing, I would like to tell one more useful tool, catme.org. One of the biggest challenges in team-based learning is how to evaluate individual contributions. Putting students in groups does not mean that they will learn how to work in teams. They need assessment of their work within the group and constructive criticism to improve themselves. This website, catme.org, is very successfully designed for measuring group dynamics like contributing to work, interacting with teammates, keeping team on track, etc. Students evaluate their peers within the group along with themselves. Best feature of the tool is it calculates statistical significance of the scores and warns me groups that might have conflict. It also gives constructive criticism to each individual. For me, this was very useful. For more information, please visit catme.org. I hope that this video tutorial has helped you to learn Blackboard tools for team-based learning. If you have any questions or comments, please email me, bilgin@uic.edu. Finally, I would like to thank the Center for the Advancement of Teaching Learning Communities, TLC, for this great opportunity, as well as the Learning Technology Solutions, LTS team, for the technical assistance.